and giving back to Steamboat's outdoor community.
Testing. Can you hear me?
For schedule a roof estimate, please visit us at steamboatroofing.com. Again, that's steamboatroofing.com.
This is Matt with Steamboat Roofing Company, and we're proud Sailor Sports sponsors.
See you out there.
How am I sounding, Monica?
Managing local land involves balancing resources such as agriculture, water, and wildlife. I'm Brian Ripley, and I have over 16 years of experience managing range resources as your neighbor here in Raleigh.
I can turn it up a little bit.
Specialist for the Paoli Group with the support of Colorado Group Realty. Put your trust in someone that has the practical experience and knowledge
Any better?
to help you with all of your ranch online property plans. I aspire to help you reach all of your real estate goals. I'm Brian Ripley, and you can find me at thepaoligroup.com.
Sweet.
Steamboat Sailors.
Looks like they're doing the lineups right now, so
Brought to you by Bank Alpine
maybe
Roofing Company.
2 minutes, minute and a half. Nope, 15. Sounds good.
The all-new Steamboat Sailor Soccer on KYP Sports FM at 105.7 and steamboatradio.com.
Live from beautiful CENTAURUS High School in Colorado. This is Murphy Bowman on the call for your Steamboat Sailors versus the CENTAURUS. Forgetting their mascot, they're the Warriors. I will be joined with shortly by Steamboat alumni Peyton Trask. He will be my cameraman / color commentary because Kenny Reisman, who typically does the girls' games with me, is on the sideline coaching for the boys' team. We have quite the matchup today. The CENTAURUS Warriors are 1-0 with a big win to start off their season against Lewis Palmer. Steamboat Sailors have yet to play a game, but I know they are eager to get into this. I believe they had a 3-0 record throughout their preseason scrimmages, which, I mean, it is preseason, so can't judge it off of that completely, but at the same time, it's always good to see a win, no matter what it is or when it is. We're doing quick lineups right now, and while they do that, I do have the starting 11 for the Steamboat Sailors. We're going to have Liam Catterson, Cam Daly, Smith Dean, William Hayden, Reese John, Silas Leeson, Gerardo Mendoza, Charlie Reisman, Lycan Roth, Joseph Scopa, and Charles Welch as our starting 11. I believe that Lycan Roth will be our starting goalkeeper. I do not have the formation or the names in formation order, but if I were to guess, Silas Leeson and maybe Smith Dean will be in the back two, the center backs for Steamboat, and then possibly Liam Catterson. And this is going to be tough, just judging off of some of these guys. I don't know all of them, but our outside defense will probably consist of, as I said, Liam Catterson and somebody else. Smith Dean, I imagine, like I said, will be a center back. Don't know much about Hayden, but Reese John I know will be up top trying to get in an attack. He is a fast, physical player. He's a good target player for Steamboat to try to find on the counterattack. And also I think that Charlie Reisman, the sophomore, will be in the midfield, kind of trying to get up forward more so with some defensive responsibility. But it is going to be an exciting game. Before we get kicked off, I'd like to thank a few of our sponsors. Yampa Valley Bank, the Yampa Valley's only locally owned bank with locations in Steamboat and Craig, membered FDIC. Also, Alpine Lumber, the contractor's choice, the homeowner's friend. Go see Cody and the gang at Alpine Lumber for all your building needs. And you can't forget about Russell's Auto Salon, your premier full-service auto body shop where you always meet by accident. We're still waiting for the lineups. This is Centaurus now getting their names announced, so I can only imagine that the game will start here shortly. As I mentioned, Peyton Trask, a Steamboat alumni from back in the day, will be joining me in the booth here shortly. See if we can squeeze a few words out of him. I know he said he'd film for me, but he wasn't too sure about getting on and talking on the radio. I'm sure I can make him do it, though. Real quick, we're going to take a few minutes for the national anthem, and we will be right back. I can only imagine that we are moments away from the Sailors opening kickoff of the season against the Centaurus Warriors. Steamboat Sailors looking to get their first win of the season. This is a non-league game, but still would be a huge result because the Centaurus team is in a very, very competitive league, and I can only imagine what it would do for the Sailors' RPI, because for all of you back home who do not understand all the RPI stuff, it's your opponent's win-loss record, your opponent's win-loss record, and yeah, it's a combination of things. So if you win against a team that's in a competitive league, it always can help you within the standings no matter what, even if you lose to them. So it's kind of confusing, but we'll see. As I mentioned, the Centaurus Warriors are 1-0 on the season, a big win against Lewis Palmer, who is always a very competitive team in the 4A conference. And Steamboat Sailors looking very good throughout preseason. As I mentioned, they won against Battle Mountain. Of course, you're not going to play them with all of your tricks during a preseason game because you don't want to give it away for when you actually play them in your league games. But Sailors also got a win against the Colorado Academy team and against Salida. So we'll see what they have here. Looks like that's Reese John. He's going to start off with the kickoff. Steamboat Sailors get their season on the way. Charlie Reisman boots it up the field. And looks like Centaurus is having some difficulty controlling that. And it's going to be look like a throw-in, but still in play. That's Liam Catterson to John. John loses it. Sailors win back possession, and they're going to control it. Ball's worked back to Joseph Scopa. Scopa, who I didn't think would be playing center back, is playing center back. And now Steamboat on the attack. That's Mendoza. Out wide to Charlie Reisman. Reisman, good through ball to Reese John. Reese John with a shot, and Steamboat Sailors, had a goal, but it is offsides. That was Mendoza with a great opportunity. Steamboat Sailors looking threatening right off the bat. but it was offsides. But you gotta love to see the attack from the Sailors. It looked like Reese John had a great run in. Charlie Reisman playing a fantastic through ball and took a little deflection. I think Mendoza was offsides. Goal is not allowed, and the score is still 0-0 here in the Sailors' first contest of the season. That's Smith with the throw and tossing it down the field. It's going to be tossed in and headed right back out. Reese John chasing it down. Take the throw in near sideline. Throws it to number 2. That's Cameron Daly. Cameron Daly can't do much with it, and it's booted out. Going to be another Sailors throw-in in the near side corner, just about. Big throw in the middle of box. Mendoza there cannot quite control it. It's cleared out by Centaurus all the way up the field, and that's Silas Leeson to run it down. He'll control it and pass it back to Roth. Roth playing with his feet here, trying to pick out Scopa. Just a little too much sauce on that. It's going to go out of bounds and going to be a throw-in near sideline in the Sailors' defensive half. Sailors looking good here in the first few minutes of this contest. Very exciting, and love to see what they have in store for today. We have a free kick, I think a push in the air. Steamboat Sailors will be able to get the ball out of their defensive half here. Looks like this is going to be Reisman to take this free kick. As I mentioned, he'll be playing in the midfield. More of an attacking role, but still looking to get back and play some defense. Roth with distribution straight to the Centaurus Warriors. The Warriors on attack now. Good dribbling skill there, but great defense by Mendoza tracking him down, and he'll kick that out for a corner. But way to stay with his man and make sure that ball didn't get by him. Looks like we might see a short corner here for Centaurus. They say no. Slow down a little bit. They're getting set up in the box. And the cross is in. Middle of the box, headed away by Joseph Scopa. And it's going to dribble out of bounds. Be a throw in far sideline, or near sideline, on about the 10-yard line. Centaurus on the offense here, tossing in the middle of the box, goes under Joe Scopa's foot and out for a goal kick. We'll see Roth here again with his distribution skills and booting it up the field, trying to pick out Cameron Daly, cannot quite do so. It's intercepted by Centaurus. Ball bouncing around, nobody has possession, and goes out of bounds. They're going to say it is a Centaurus throw-in. Toss is in, controlled by Centaurus, but immediately taken away by Catterson, and goes out of bounds. Another blue throw, and Steamboat Sailors are donning their white jerseys with red numbering. I know they will be getting new jerseys here later on in the season. And some good dribbling skill there, but Charlie Welch with a well-timed tackle wins the ball over. Cannot quite get it to a white jersey, but slows down the attack for Centaurus. Now Charlie Reisman tossing it in, trying to find Reese John. Centaurus controls it, but boots it out, and it's going to be a throw-in near sideline. As I was mentioning, Steamboat Sailors with white jerseys, red numbering. Centaurus Warriors, blue jerseys, red numbering. And Sailors going right to left on your radio dial. It's going to be a throw-in near sideline for Centaurus. Silas Leeson cannot quite control it. It goes out of bounds. It's going to be another throw-in at about the 15-yard line. And I am trying my best to film and announce the game at the same time, so please bear with me. Tosses into the middle of the box, controlled by Centaurus, and that's Leeson to put pressure on. It's going to be a goal kick for Roth and company. Real quick, I'd like to thank Steamboat Roofing. Call Steamboat Roofing for all your roofing needs, from minor repairs to complete replacements. Go to steamboatroofing.com. Roth with a big run-up, boots it up the field, controlled by Centaurus. And going into the box, well defended though by Joe Scopa, and it's going to be another Centaurus goal kick. almost everyone back for Steamboat. The goal, or the corner kick to the middle of the box, headed down top of the box for Centaurus, taken away by Steamboat. That's Smith getting it up to Mendoza. Mendoza controlling, getting it to Welch, out wide to Reese. Reese runs out of real estate. It's going to be a throw in near sideline. This is a very skinny field, and I think Reese John just did not realize where he was, and the ball squeaked out of bounds. Throw in near sideline. Progresses into a corner kick here for Centaurus, or a throw-in, excuse me, and toss into the middle of the box to about the PK area, bounce around, headed away by Catterson, and this is Reisman to take over. Reisman with a great ball to Daly. Daly trying to get past the defenders, cannot quite do so. Throw in far sideline, just past midfield, and the throw had a little bit too much heat on it for Reisman to possess it, and Centaurus takes over. Trying to switch the field there for Centaurus, cannot quite do so, and Sailors have another throw-in. I think both teams are kind of experiencing not enough space, and we're seeing lots and lots of throw-ins here in this first few minutes of the contest. We are about 8 minutes in, 0-0 the score. Steamboat Sailors kicking off their 2021 season against the Centaurus Warriors. And looks like we're going to have a yellow card here for number 9 of Centaurus. That is Young. I don't quite know what happened, but he will have to make his way off and have a few words with his coach before he's able to get subbed back in. While we're waiting for this free kick, I'd like to thank all new Steamboat motors, Ford, Dodge, Jeep, Ram trucks with store-to-door service. Shop them online at steamboatmotors.com. They're in West Steamboat on Highway 40. That was Scopa to take the kick, delivered to Welch. Welch tries to pop it up, cannot quite do so. Steamboat Sailors take control of it though, and they're at about midfield. I'm going to have a free kick again here for the Sailors. Charlie Reisman winning that one, saying, "Let me take this one, Joe." Joe's just going to do a short one to Charlie. Charlie controlling it and trying to find Welch. Welch gets it back to Reisman. Ball popped up in the air. Nobody has possession quite yet. Now Centaurus brings it down and tries to boot it up the field. Well defended by John. John running onto it. Cannot quite control it though. Finally cleared out by Centaurus. Now they're on the counterattack. 3-on-3 here. Played out wide near sideline. And well defended by Joe Scopa. And Roth is going to go over and scoop that one up. And sorry I did not catch that one on video. I am doing this solo right now, waiting for my cameraman. Roth with a big toss. Maybe he could try out for the Sailors football team. That's a joke. And ball is up to Reese John. Reese John trying to find Daly, cannot quite do so. Now the ball's bouncing around. Mendoza putting pressure on the Centaurus midfield, trying to win it over. Centaurus doing well to pass around the Steamboat Sailors amongst their midfield, and they are on the attack now. Joe Scopa does well to intercept. I've really liked him in the center back position so far. Gets the ball up to Charlie Welch. Welch kind of overruns the ball but wins it back. Plays it back to Scopa. Scopa to Roth now. Steamboat Sailors possessing, kind of slowing it down here. Love to see that. Roth trying to find Mendoza, cannot quite do so. It's going to be a throw-in far sideline, just about 40-yard line, and Centaurus will toss it up the field over the head of Leeson. Leeson does well though to adjust and win the ball back, and got a nice battle going on. Leeson comes out on top, and now the Sailors have possession, doing some great passing here, and what a display. And we're going to have a handball though on Daly. Kind of just popped off his foot in a weird way. And Steamboat Sailors making their way back to defend this free kick that is exactly on midfield line for Centaurus. kick is up, top of the 18, headed up by Scopa and caught by Roth. A little scary there, but Roth seemed very comfortable with that save. Joe Scopa trying to clear it out and could not quite do so. And now Centaurus with the ball, making their way past midfield into their defensive half. Now back and forth, controlling amongst their back four in their midfield. This has been a very good possession-oriented game so far. If you're not a big soccer fan, it's not too exciting, but this is exciting here. We have Reese John on the attack, one-on-one. Shot just squeaks by the post, but some great attack there from the Steamboat Sailors. Looked very promising from John, and that was a great pressure to win the ball in their offensive half for the Sailors. I believe that was Reisman, and he just played a great ball to Reese John, who was able to make it his way past his defender and get a shot off that just squeaked by the far post. Steamboat Sailors have had some very promising opportunities here. The score is still 0-0. We have 28 minutes and 35 seconds left in this first half. Steamboat Sailors looking strong in this first game of the season for him. Joe Scopa clearing the ball up the field to Reese John. Reese John running onto it. He's able to control it, but Centaurus wins it. Centaurus trying to make their way into the midfield. They do so. This is number 8 for Centaurus. He has got some hair. Man, would I kill for that. And good win by Reisman. Gets it to Charlie Welch. Charlie to Charlie action there. Trying to make its way out to Mendoza. It's cleared out. Going to be Sailors throwing at the 40-yard line. Liam Catterson out to take this one. Catterson surveying the field, can't really find any open options. He'll whip it to Welch. Welch with a nice one-touch pass over to Daly, trying to work the ball up to John, cannot quite do so. Ball bouncing around, and that is Catterson with it. Gets the ball taken away though, 2-on-2 here. Steamboat Sailors caught on their heels a little bit, but great work there by Smith to get back. And Sailors can't quite clear it out, finally do. This is Reisman running it down, try to keep it in bounds, cannot quite do so. Going to be a throw-in at the 25-yard line for the Sailors, and in their defensive half. Tossed to the top of the box. Dealt with well by Smith, getting it up the field. Still Centaurus possession, booted up the field for Centaurus. It's going to go out of bounds for a Sailors goal kick. And while we await this goal kick, I'd like to thank Steamboat Ace Hardware, the helpful place for just about anything. They are in West Steamboat in Curve Plaza. Also like to thank Steamboat Roofing. Call Steamboat Roofing for all your roofing needs, from minor repairs to complete replacements. Go to steamboatroofing.com. Roth will boot this up the field to John. John doing well to keep it in bounds. John to Dean, and it's cleared out of bounds, away from any danger from the Centaurus net. It's going to be a throw in near sideline for the Sailors. Toss in the middle of the field is cleared right back out where it came from. Going to be another Sailors throw here for Smith Dean. Tossing it over the head of Charlie Reisman to Charlie Welch. Welch trying to head it on for somebody. Could not quite connect that pass. It goes out of bounds and is going to be a goal kick for Centaurus here. So far, Steamboat Sailors looking very threatening. Have had a few opportunities. They did have a goal, but it was called offsides. And ever since then, we had a few more chances, but nothing in the back of the net. Score 0-0 with 25:44 left on the clock. Centaurus making their way into their attacking third. Steamboat Sailors trying to fend, well intercepted by Catterson, and Steamboat Sailors trying to clear it out here. Cannot quite do so. Good slide tackle by Joe Scopa, but we're going to have a corner kick here for the Warriors, and things are starting to get a little bit more warmed up here in Centaurus High School. As I just mentioned, the score is still 0-0, but at any given moment that might change. We have a corner kick coming up here for Centaurus, and we'll see what happens. Steamboat Sailors have 9 players in the box defending this corner. Boot to the middle of the field, headed but welcomed into the arms of Roth, and he will urge everybody up the field and toss it out to Smith Dean. Smith Dean controlling, working it back to Scopa here. Scopa gets dispossessed, does well to win it back, but then it's taken right back by Centaurus. Work to the top of the box. Centaurus with an opportunity, and Scopa is able to get back and clear it out to Mendoza. Mendoza now plenty of real estate in front of him. Trying to find Daly, cannot quite do so. Centaurus keeping it in bounds, and it actually squeaked out. Mendoza picking up the throw-in, getting it to Catterson. Catterson now getting it to the middle of the field to Charlie Welch. Welch cannot quite pick out John, but Sailors still have possession in their midfield. It's taken away, and I am finally joined by my cameraman. Let's see if he wants to talk at any point.
Thanks, Murphy.
Yeah.
Happy to be on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. For everybody listening, this is Peyton Trask, a Steamboat alumni, and he will be filming for me and adding in anything he would like to say as need be. Steamboat Sailors losing the ball. It's going to be a throw-in for Centaurus at about the 45-yard line in their defensive half. Steamboat Sailors still trying to get that first goal. 0-0 to score, 23 even left on the clock in this first half. We're going to have some substitutions for Centaurus. They have a pretty big looking bench over there. They did quite a handful of substitutions. I believe 4 new players on the field for the team in blue. Toss is in. It's controlled by the Steamboat Sailors. Worked back to Dean. Dean trying to squeak it by to Welch. Cannot quite do so. Steamboat Sailors are able to take it over, though, and it's worked around. Ball bounced around. Catterson comes out with it, working it out to Mendoza. Mendoza gets it taken away, but it's kicked out of bounds and going to be a throw-in for Catterson and company, far sideline, and ball's worked in. Steamboat Sailors passing around in the midfield. Charlie Welch with the ball near sideline, getting it out to Dean. Dean working it back to Scopa. Scopa now looking at his space. Good work there. Ball getting in, cross to the box, and it's controlled by Centaurus, but not headed away. That's Charlie Reisman with it. And ball bouncing around. Foot race, and Catterson has it. Catterson getting it to Reisman. Reisman with a nice move there, getting it into the box, but it's cleared out of bounds. Going to be a throw-in far sideline at about the 0-yard line for the Sailors. Ball being passed around. Looks like we're going to have offsides on Charlie Reisman. He wasn't quite ready for that pass. Caught offsides. Going to be well, maybe they're saying it's out of bounds. Tosses in for Centaurus and controlled by the Sailors. That's Mendoza in the middle of the field. Getting it over to Welch. Dispossessed. Now Centaurus getting up the field. Intercepted by Leeson. Leeson making the ball, passing the ball. Don't know what I'm saying over here. Passing the ball up to Dean. Dean controlling, getting it to Welch, back to Dean, and they're going to work the ball all the way back to Roth here. Roth will play it with his feet. goals so far. The score is 0-0 with 20 minutes left on the clock. Do you have anything to add about that?
Absolutely, yeah. Whoever controls the middle of the field in today's game will come away with it, and it's really a possession game, passing through the midfield and taking your opportunities when they present themselves.
For sure. Definitely, like I mentioned, not a fun game to watch if you don't play soccer, but you can really appreciate what is happening here. As I mentioned, that Centaurus is on the attack here, across to the top of the box, wide open. Shot goes wide. Looked like he was just caught off balance for Centaurus. It's going to be a throw-in for Roth here, and we're going to get our first Sailors substitutions. Looks like that is Oliver Cardillo making his way on for Charlie Welch, and Axel Kovac making his way on for Cameron Daly. Kovac is going to move Reese John over to the right side of the field, take over the left side. In the Sailors front two, as I mentioned, they are playing a 4-4-2 here today. A little bit different. Typically it's a 4-3-3, but I think that the Sailors looking more to possess in the midfield. Maybe it's just the setup of players they have this year, and maybe it just suits them a little bit better. But Coach Bowman and Coach Reisman did well to recognize that, and I'd say so far it's been working out in the Sailors' favor. As I say that, the Sailors are on possession. Reisman with an opportunity gets dispossessed. Now Centaurus coming on the counterattack the other way. Pass out wide near sideline, and a shot, and just squeaks over the crossbar. Great save there by Roth. Looked like it might go in. Roth just shot a hand up though, strong paw, and pushed that one over the crossbar. We're going to have a corner kick here for the Warriors very shortly. Before we get that corner kick, I'd like to thank Yampa Valley Bank, the Yampa Valley's only locally owned bank with locations in Steamboat and Craig, membered FDIC. As we wait for the corner kick, looks like Steamboat Sailors getting the usual 8 players in the box to defend it. Low, hard pass cleared out by the Sailors to Reisman. Reisman controlling now, trying to work it out to Kovac. Kovac trying to turn on the Jets and keeps it in bounds, gets it to Dean. Dean working it back to Roth, and I really have to say I like how Roth has been using his feet. You don't see that always from a goalkeeper. Ball's worked to John. John booting it to the middle of the field for Kovac. Kovac trying to run it down. Looks like Centaurus got there first, cleared it out of bounds, but it's going to be a Sailor throw-in near sideline at the 10-yard line for Smith Dean. Dean to Cardillo. Cardillo trying to find Reese John at the top of the box. It's cleared away by Centaurus, headed down by Leeson, and Sailors take over possession in the midfield. That's Joe Scopa working it out to Smith. Smith putting on some fancy footwork, warding off his defender, working it into the midfield. Steamboat Sailors getting it to Mendoza now. Cannot win the foot race to the ball there. Work back to Roth. Roth boots it up the field, and here's an opportunity for Kovac to run it down. He decides not to try that, as there were 2 blue jerseys waiting to control it. They'll just see it out of bounds, and Steamboat Sailors trying to win the ball here. That's Kovac off a bad kick from the goalkeeper. A shot, and off the crossbar from Dean, and that looked promising. We're going to say that the goalkeeper tipped that one. That was a save. He throws his hands up in the air saying, "What? I didn't touch that. Come on, man, take the stat." Great save if he did save it. If not, that's a missed call by the referee. But as Steamboat Sailors biased fans here, I don't think we're complaining. That was a great shot by Dean. 40 yards. Trying to put Good through ball there, but it's intercepted. John was waiting for it. Maybe he had an opportunity there. We'll never know now. Steamboat Sailors have possession. Definitely picking up the attack here with 14:11 left on the clock in this first half. 0-0 to score. Steamboat Sailors donning their white jerseys in red numbering. I know those jerseys will be changing at some point this season as they're getting new ones. Always love getting new jerseys. Steamboat Sailors throwing near sideline. Worked out to Charlie Reisman. Reisman now getting taken down hard at the 12-yard line. We're going to have another free kick at kind of an awkward angle, but an opportunity here for either a shot or a cross. We'll see. It looks like Reisman here to take this. If Reisman wants to, he can do whatever he wants here. We see the goalkeeper setting up the wall. Reisman recognized that. He gets a cross in. Header. Save. Ball bouncing around in the box. And man, that was a great opportunity for the Sailors. A great save by the Centaurus goalkeeper. Now here's Centaurus on the counterattack. We have a 3v3 here. Ball passed out wide, read well by Joe Scopa, and Sailors will take over control of the ball. And man, that was an exciting tournament of events. I don't know who got ahead to that, but Steamboat Sailors. Ooh, and what's happening here? Roth with the ball at his feet looked a little scary. I got sidetracked, but Steamboat Sailors just had a great opportunity, but a great header was answered by an even better save by the Warriors. The score is still 0-0. Steamboat Sailors definitely putting on the pressure here, though. Love to see it. Coming into this game, I didn't know what to expect as far as attacking goes. Steamboat Sailors really showing they can threaten the net. We have a free kick, middle of the field here. That's out wide to Cardillo. Cardillo laying it off for Kovac. Kovac controlling, getting held up a little bit. He'll pass it back to Reisman. Reisman now to Dean, and worked all the way back to, that is Scopa. Scopa now trying to pick out somebody on the far sideline. Cannot quite do so. It's worked back to Roth. Roth now booting it up the field to nobody. It's going to be a throw-in near sideline for Centaurus. I'd like to thank Russell's Auto Salon, your premier full-service auto body shop where you always meet by accident. So far, what do you think of this game, Peyton? Anything you'd like to mention? Any from a mature soccer player's point of view? Anything that you're seeing that you'd like to point out?
Sure, yeah, I'm seeing a couple things here. I'm liking Roth's playing with his feet, combining with the back four to start the attack. A couple good free kicks in a row. So the goalie is loving to line his wall up, and if we can catch him off his post with a good shot, we might see a goal here.
We'd love to see that. Warriors on attack there. Roth was called into action, making a comfortable save. He'll roll it out to, I believe that's Catterson. Bounced on the foot of Cardillo, but Steamboat Sailors still with possession here. That's Sandvik getting it out to Cardillo. Now to Reisman. Reisman taking his free real estate there, working it to Kovac. Kovac trying to turn on the Jets, gets intercepted by the Warriors, but it's going to be a throw-in in a good spot here for the Sailors. Kovac looking to go fast, decides to slow things down as he doesn't see too many options. Tossed into Cardillo, bounces over his head though, and he'll control it, get it out to Mendoza. Mendoza now to Sandvik out wide near sideline. Sandvik getting it to his back four, and they are going to pass it around here for a few. In no rush. They do see the clock. They have 10 minutes left, and they do kind of, I'd say they're in the driver's seat right now. Lots of opportunities, more, I'd say the majority of possession, and it's looking good here for the Steamboat Sailors. And as I say that, here come the Warriors on a counterattack. It's going to be called down for a free kick at about midfield. But Steamboat Sailors showing a great display of possession and some very threatening attacks. You love to see this because I have to say, when I called the two games last year, you didn't see as much attack or possession. The Sailors more so sat back and did counterattacks or tried to capitalize on opportunities that weren't as much built by the whole team. More so, they just got an opportunity in their attacking third. The Warriors working their way into the box. It's cleared out by Scopa and cleared right back into the box. It's worked out to the Warriors far near sideline, right in the corner. I looked offsides, but no offsides called, and passed over about everybody. So the Warriors still with possession here. Into the middle of the box, and a great save there by Roth. Had to be quick on his feet as a blue jersey was waiting right there to tap that one in. And he'll slow down the play here, get everybody up the field. He's in no rush. We still have 8 minutes and 54 seconds left on the clock here in the first half of play. Steamboat Sailors opening up their 2021 season against the Centaurus Warriors, and looking pretty hot so far. As I mentioned, they went 3-0 in their preseason scrimmages. You can't judge a book by its cover, though, and we would like to see them get their first win of the season against a non-league opponent, and a strong non-league opponent nonetheless. Ball's worked out far side of the field to John. John doing some fancy footwork. Gets the ball taken away, though. It's cleared out of bounds. We're going to have a throw-in for the Warriors. But they are subbing on some players here. Looks like we're going to have a Steamboat Sailors substitution as well. I believe that's Mendoza off, and I can't quite see the number. That might be Daly, but he has yet to turn his back to me, so I cannot see the number.
And Murphy, I like that play there by the Warriors defender to try and kick it off the Steamboat player to get the throw in his way. Very impressive defensive play.
Yes, but not for the Sailors. But yes, it was a very good play. Reese John is very threatening, and that was a good spot for a throw-in. As the ball's worked to the top of the box, shot, and a great save by Roth, who's had to act quick here in the first half. He has not had a quiet game, to say the least. He has had to use his feet, had to use his hands. I'm interested to see if he'll stay in net going into the second half, or if Coach Bowman and Coach Reisman are going to make the substitution for Charlie Welch to go in at half. I mean, just thinking about it, Roth he's on fire right now. Why would you switch that off? You know, it's all about momentum, and I feel like there could be a momentum switch. Nothing against Charlie Welch, but he did start off the game in the field, so you know, it's more of a mentality thing than anything else. We have a quick substitution. That is, I want to say, Jacobs on for Leeson. I will confirm that once I see the number. I do not have an official roster, really. Coach Bowman wrote down a lot of numbers, and his handwriting is not the neatest, but I'm trying my best over here. It's possessed on the far sideline, and it's going to go out for a throw-in for the Warriors. Steamboat Sailors still looking very strong here. The majority of possession. Ball goes in and then right back out. It's going to be a Sailors throw. We're going to get a quick substitution, though. That's Daly on, and who will be coming off? I'm not quite sure yet. Charlie Welch also making his way back onto the field. We have Kovac and another Sailor making their way off the field. We have a throw-in, far sideline, getting it to Jacobs. Jacobs finding another Sailor there. That's Sandvik. Sandvik trying to find Welch. Cannot quite do so. Steamboat Sailors win over possession. A long shot here, though. Didn't look too threatening as it was high and wide. Going to be a goal kick for the Warriors. As we await this goal kick, I'd like to thank Alpine Lumber, the contractor's choice, the homeowner's friend. Go see Cody and the gang at Alpine Lumber. The kick is up and it's low, controlled by Cardillo. Pass to Reisman, but it's intercepted and cleared away. Bounced over the head of a Centaurus player, and Jacobs trying to get it up the field, but he's adjusting to this very skinny field. As we saw early on when both teams started out, they weren't quite used to having not as much space, and we'll see that as Substitutions get their first minutes of the season for the Sailors. That's Reisman with the ball, getting it out wide to John. John, top of the box, low, hard shot, goes wide. Never really too threatening. Didn't think the goalie thought it was going on net, and it really didn't, but it's an opportunity nonetheless. You love to see it, as Steamboat Sailors have had a lot of offensive opportunities here. We have 4 minutes even left on the clock. Steamboat Sailors all tied up 0-0 here against the Centaurus Warriors in their first matchup of the season. It is a non-league game, but still will have very big implications on the rest of their season. Just in the playoff perspective and everything else. We have a free kick at midfield for Centaurus, trying to make their way up the field, but that's Welch causing some trouble for them. And Sailors come away with the ball, but it's taken right back by the blue jerseys. Booted up high. Nobody's controlling it yet. Bouncing around still. That's Daly. Finally brings it down, and it looks like we're going to have a free kick. Daly may or may not have pushed a Centaurus player in the air. He's stating his case for why that's not a foul, but I don't think the referee's really listening to that. And going to have a free kick at the 35-yard line for the Sailors. This is Young to take the kick for Centaurus. Looking more for a cross here. It's high, and Roth will be strong in the air, grab that one, and bowl it out to Jacobs. Jacobs now to Reisman. Reisman get the nutmeg, but cannot maintain possession of the ball. And Centaurus now working the ball back amongst their back four. Making their way past a few Steamboat Sailors. Good ball work by the Warriors. Over the head of Scopa, one-on-one situation, and a great save by Roth. One-on-one, and I love the quickness and soccer IQ from Roth to get up and roll it right back out to his fellow goalkeeper, Charlie Welch, where Welch dribbled it up the field, trying to cross it in for Daly. Cannot quite do so. Scooped up by the goalkeeper for Centaurus. But man, I have to say, if I was Coach Bowman and Coach Reisman, I'd just keep Roth in goal, as he has been very, very strong and very consistent, making his mind up and sticking with it. The biggest thing that can hurt a goalkeeper is hesitation, and we have not seen a single ounce of hesitation from Roth today. He's been very smart, very, very quick with his decisions, and I think it's really helped the Steamboat Sailors. As I mentioned, the Steamboat Sailors have had the majority of possession, but still Roth has been called into action, as he is getting called into action here right now. One-on-one situation, booted over the crossbar, and man, sigh of relief there for the Steamboat Sailors. The turns are tabling, the tables are turning here for Centaurus. A lot more offense now, more counterattacks as we are in the last minute of play in the first half. Steamboat Sailors trying to make it through. Close call there, but the Centaurus player was leaning back a little too much and booted over the crossbar. And Steamboat Sailors still tied up 0-0, trying to make it into halftime. Either tied or up one. We have 33 seconds left on the clock. Ball bouncing around. Looks like Centaurus will have a throw in here. Last few seconds, everybody getting back for the Sailors. Toss in the middle of the box, booted up in the air. Nobody controlled it yet. Still bouncing around. Centaurus with it, cleared out, but only to another blue jersey. Shot, and it goes high. 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's going to bring us to halftime. And man, a good opening half for the Steamboat Sailors, as they have had plenty of opportunities on the offensive end and have had to kind of get back and defend the counterattack as well. I'd say they've had the majority of possession, and now we will see what Coach Bowman and Coach Reisman have to say during their halftime conference. Looks like the referee's having a word with both captains real quick, but we will be right back after this break on your Steamboat Sailors Sports Connection.
Steamboat Sailor Soccer on KTYV Sports on FM is brought to you by
Yampa Valley Bank, Alpine Lumber, the Steamboat Roofing Company, Russell's Auto Salon, the Paoli Group, Steamboat Ace Hardware, and the all-new Steamboat Motors.
Steamboat Sailor Soccer on KTYV Sports on FM at 105.7 and steamboatradio.com.
I'm Terry.
And this is Phil
from Russell's Auto Salon.
If you need help with your auto collision repair, we make it easy. Just bring me an email and a claim number, and I'll take care of the rest.
Russell's Auto Salon, Colorado's premier collision center, leading the industry in technology, where we have gone green with Enviro-based paint, and we are proud supporters of Steamboat Sailors Sports.
Russell's Auto Salon, where we always meet by accident. 879-1515.
Russell's Auto Salon.
879-1515.
Hi, this is Skip from Alpine Lumber. We're proud to support Steamboat Sailors High School Athletics on KTYV. We believe in the competitive nature that builds character. Competitiveness at an early age is a good indicator of success in future life. At employee-owned Alpine Lumber, we foster and encourage teamwork, and we know that athletics builds that strong sense of team and working for the greater good, and we are proud supporters of Steamboat Sailors High School sports. Alpine Lumber is easy to find behind Walgreens on the other side of the tracks. Alpine Lumber, employee-owned and operated, the contractor's choice, and the homeowner's friend.
Hi, I'm PJ Wharton, president of Yampa Valley Bank, and I want you to know how proud we are to sponsor this Steamboat Sailor sports broadcast on KTYV Sports on the FM. Steamboat Sailor fans are the best, and we support our sailors on the turf, the court, the pitch, and even the track. If you can't be there to cheer our sailors on in person, Yampa Valley Bank is thrilled to provide this broadcast just for you. Go Steamboat, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
I'm Tyler Jacobs, number 43, and I play in the midfield. I played soccer for around 10 years. Our team goals is to have a good season and get real far. I love skiing and hiking. My favorite subject in school would be science, because it can be interesting sometimes. This summer I worked in technology, and after I graduate I hope to go to college somewhere.
What did you do in technology?
Worked for the school as just a tech helper. My favorite movie is Jeremiah's Rule 3. I am Tyler Jacobs, and I am proud to be a Steamboat Springs sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Steamboat Ace is a proud sponsor of the Steamboat Sailors. That's not the only way Ace supports the kids in our community.
Hi, Bridget here from Steamboat Ace. We are so proud to be a part of the Steamboat community. It's our priority to support and encourage positive activities and hobbies for our youth.
How do you do that?
In addition to local scholarships, Ace invites the sailor community to fundraise for their activity or club by providing a great venue and supplies to host a hot dog or bake sale.
I love it. Every weekend I can shop at Ace and support a great cause.
Steamboat Ace, you're proud to support the Steamboat Sailors shopping place.
Hey, this is Matt with Steamboat Roofing Company, and we love to sponsor all things Steamboat. As a company, we like to get families and student athletes outside to enjoy all that Steamboat has to offer. Steamboat Roofing Company is proud to sponsor Steamboat Sailor Sports broadcast.
Steamboat Roofing Company, proudly working in and giving back to Steamboat's outdoor community. Ski, bike, run, roof, Steamboat.
To schedule a roof estimate, please visit us at steamboatroofing.com. Again, that's steamboatroofing.com.
This is Matt with Steamboat Roofing Company, and we're proud Sailor Sports sponsors.
See you out there.
Managing local land involves balancing resources such as agriculture, water, and wildlife. I'm Brian Ripley, and I have over 16 years of experience managing ranch resources as your neighbor here in Routt County. I'm the Ranch and Rural Property Specialist for the Paoli Group with the support of Colorado Group Realty. Put your trust in someone that has the practical experience and knowledge to help you with all of your ranch, rural, and equine property needs. I aspire to help you reach all of your real estate goals. I'm Brian Ripley, and you can find me at thepaoligroup.com in the Ranch Division.
Hi, I'm PJ Wharton, president of Yampa Valley Bank, and I want you to know how proud we are to sponsor this Steamboat Sailor sports broadcast on KTYV Sports on the FM. Steamboat Sailor fans are the best, and we support our sailors on the turf, the court, the pitch, and even the track. If you can't be there to cheer our sailors on in person, Yampa Valley Bank is thrilled to provide this broadcast just for you. Go Steamboat! Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
My name is Oliver Cardillo. My number's 10. My position is midfield or like a striker up top. I've been playing soccer for like 13 years, since I can remember, so long time. I don't really have any other sports activity. I ski. I can do cool tricks. I can do a backflip, so I'm proud of that. I don't have a favorite subject in school. If I had to choose, it'd be history, because I can't really understand all these other ones. I worked over the summer, just working, hanging out with the friends. I plan to travel, take a gap year.
And what did you do when you worked this summer? Who'd you work for?
I worked at Rex's. I was a food expo.
Excellent.
After high school, I'm going to go travel, I think. Go around, figure it out. My favorite movie and book is Jeremiah's Rule, the Fourth. All these other ones are trash. This one is the only one that's good. It's because he goes to space with his pet Gerardo, so it's lit. Watch that one. I am Oliver Cardillo, and I am proud to be a Steamboat Spring Sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Managing local land involves balancing resources such as agriculture, water, and wildlife. I'm Brian Ripley, and I have over 16 years of experience managing ranch resources as your neighbor here in Routt County. I'm the Ranch and Rural Property Specialist for the Paoli Group with the support of Colorado Group Realty. Put your trust in someone that has the practical experience and knowledge to help you with all of your ranch, rural, and equine property needs. I aspire to help you reach all of your real estate goals. I'm Brian Ripley, and you can find me at thepaoligroup.com in the Ranch Division.
I'm Terry.
And this is Phil
From Russell's Auto Salon.
If you need help with your auto collision repair, we make it easy. Just bring me an email and a claim number, and I'll take care of the rest.
Russell's Auto Salon, Colorado's premier collision center, leading the industry in technology, where we've gone green with Enviro-based paint, and we are proud supporters of Steamboat Sailors Sports.
Russell's Auto Salon, where we always meet by accident. 879-1515.
Russell's Auto Salon.
879-1515.
Steamboat Ace is a proud sponsor of the Steamboat Sailors. That's not the only way Ace supports the kids in our community.
Hi, Bridget here from Steamboat Ace. We are so proud to be a part of the Steamboat community. It's our priority to support and encourage positive activities and hobbies for our youth.
How do you do that?
In addition to local scholarships, Ace invites the sailor community to fundraise for their activity or club by providing a great venue and supplies to host a hot dog or bake sale.
I love it. Every weekend I can shop at Ace and support a great cause.
Steamboat Ace, you're proud to support the Steamboat Sailors shopping place.
Steamboat Sailor Soccer on KTYV Sports on FM is brought to you by
Yampa Valley Bank, Alpine Lumber, the Steamboat Roofing Company, Russell's Auto Salon, the Paoli Group, Steamboat Ace Hardware, and the all-new Steamboat Motors.
Steamboat Sailor Soccer on KTYV Sports on FM at 105.7 and steamboatradio.com.
Oh, really? Oh, really? What is...
Welcome back from break. Murphy Bowman here, joined with Peyton Trask. Peyton, how are you doing today?
Doing great.
We didn't get
a Saturday for soccer.
It is. We didn't get to talk to you before the game because who knows where you were, but
traffic here.
But it's been a good contest so far. Give us some thoughts on the first half from what you saw and how the Sailors are doing.
Absolutely. Started off really strong, controlling the middle of the field. They've dominated possession so far. In the last 10 minutes there, Centaurus managed to speed things up a little bit, get on the counterattack, and shake them up. So hopefully they start off this half settling back down, controlling possession, and getting some shots on net.
Yeah, definitely. They went through that first half controlling most of it and then kind of lost some momentum there in the last 10 minutes. Hopefully the Sailors can get back to how they started the game. You weren't here for it yet, but in the first 2 minutes, the Sailors did score a goal. It was called offsides. It did look to be offsides. Can't complain much with that. But I ever since then, they had 2 shots off the piping and 1 squeaking by the post. Definitely looking like they can score some goals. I know that's been kind of difficult in past years. They struggle to find that goal scorer, struggle to find that person to depend upon to score goals, but it looks like they might have someone in Reese John, and also we saw some really good opportunities, some great through balls from Charlie Reisman. So very interested to see how they come into this second half and if they're able to keep doing what they were doing. They had some great combination plays. Love to see that keep going. And also, as I mentioned, I'm really interested to see if Coach Bowman and Coach Reisman keep Roth in goal. Lycan is doing very well, I think, and I think that it just kind of not ruin, but it'd be tough with momentum for the Sailors and their defense, because it wouldn't just affect the goalkeeper, but it'd affect the whole team.
Yep, the back four and the goalkeeper are really staying together right now. Where I see the gap that Centaurus is trying to leverage is on the counterattack. They're finding the gap between the midfield and the center backs. And so keeping that together and keeping the back four and the goalie as is should bode well, but the midfielders need to make sure to get back and the defenders need to be able to push up when attacking.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they address that at halftime, and we'll see what happens. Looks like the Centaurus Warriors are going to keep their starting goalkeeper in goal. We did see a different goalkeeper warming up at half, but I imagine that was just to keep him warm in case he needs to get subbed into the game. Does look like Lykenroth is going to stay in net. We have Smith Dean on the far side playing left back for the Sailors. Looks like that it is Sandvik making his way as midfield. Or, no, that's center back. That's going to be Sandvik and Scopa as our center backs. We have Catterson out wide on the right in the midfield. I did not get number 69's number for the Sailors, but maybe I can do a process of elimination here. We'll see. And then we have Charlie Welch and Charlie Reisman, Charlie times 2 in the middle of the field here for the Sailors, and then Mendoza as well as the fourth midfielder. And then Reese John and Cameron Daly still in the attack for the Sailors. We had a throw-in near sideline for the Sailors. It's kicked right back out for a Steamboat throw-in. That's going to be Catterson and company trying to find John. Does so. John's going to try to switch the field. A big boot. Too much on it. Dean cannot run that down. It's going to be a throw-in right by the Sailors bench for the Warriors. Dean does well to defend that, clear it away, get it to Daly. Daly now trying to win possession, cannot quite do so. Now Centaurus with the ball, working it amongst their back four, passing around. Good tiki-taka soccer there by the Warriors. They're getting into their attacking third, cross to the other side of the box. It's going to be taken down by a player in blue, but Catterson does well to win the ball. Getting tripped up though, loses possession, crosses the center of the box, cleared away by Sandvik and cleared out of the danger zone, but the team in blue will take over possession again, making their way into the box, cleared out by Scopa, and now white jerseys have it. That is Reese John with the ball, wins a throw-in at midfield, and Steamboat Sailors kind of getting caught on their heels there, did well to deal with that pressure, get it out. Daly cannot quite deal with that throw-in, gets taken away by the Warriors, but it's won immediately right back by the Sailors, working the ball up, trying to find Daly. Daly cannot turn on the Jets to run that ball down. It's going to go out for a goal kick for Centaurus. Coach Bowman giving some instructions on the far sideline there, trying to tell him to maybe switch the field. A little too direct so far in the first 3 minutes of this second half. And goal kick, a little bit of a hiccup there. Steamboat Sailors cannot come away with the ball though, and it's booted up the field. Sandvik, the center back for the Sailors here, will win the ball out of there and get it to Mendoza. Mendoza to Scopa. Steamboat Sailors working it around now. Gets taken away. Warriors have the ball in the midfield now. Number 8, who has some of the best hair I've ever seen for the Warriors, is making his way up, and it's kicked out of bounds by the Sailors, throwing far sideline at the 30-yard line. Tosses in, and it's controlled by the blue jerseys, making their way into the box. That's well challenged by Smith. Dean, though, looked like it may have touched off a Centaurus player, but they're going to say no, and throw in just by the corner flag for Centaurus, and it's in a dangerous spot. Tossed to the middle of the box, cleared out by Sandvik, and that's Daly to run it down. Daly now getting it to Reisman, now to Welch. Welch doing well, cannot quite run it down though, and Steamboat Sailors win it back, trying to get some more offense. Looking a little bit more rushed here than the possession in the first half. Maybe they need to slow down and kind of find their tempo like they had against Centaurus in the first half. Ball bouncing around. Centaurus with possession here now, making their way into their attacking half, but they ran out of real estate. It's going to be a throw-in here near sideline for Liam Catterson. Liam Catterson surveying the field, trying to find Reese John, but it's cleared right back out where it came from. Catterson with another throw here, back to back. Tosses in, and it's taken down by Centaurus and headed right back to the Centaurus defense by Scopa. Now the Warriors will take down the ball and win over possession, making their way up the field. Centaurus looking threatening here. Good through ball and defended well by Dean, and Roth will go over and pick it up. Good work there by Roth, realizing that if it went out of bounds it could be a corner kick, so he just went ahead and scooped it up, kept possession for the Steamboat Sailors. Now they're making their way into their attacking half. That's Mendoza trying to find Reese John, but it's intercepted, and very back and forth possession so far in the first 5 minutes of this game. This is the Warriors on attack, one-on-one here, and a great sliding block by Sandvik, and Roth thanking him, giving him a hug, saying thank you for not letting him get that shot off. It's going to be a corner kick, and that was probably the best opportunity here in the second half for either team. But Sandvik doing well to block that shot away. Goal kick or corner kick here for the Warriors to the middle of the box, brought down by the Warriors, cleared out though by Reisman to John. John Back to Reisman. Reisman flicking it on to Mendoza. We're going to have a foul at the 30-yard line in the Sailors' defensive half. And looks like that's going to be Catterson to take it while we await this free kick. I'd like to thank Russell's Auto Salon, your premier full-service auto body shop where you always meet by accident. Also, Alpine Lumber, the contractor's choice, the homeowner's friend. Go see Cody and the gang at Alpine Lumber for all your building needs. Catterson taking a few steps back, firing it up the field to Welch. Welch flicking it on to Dean. Dean with a nice little move there. Lost the ball though, and it's going to go out for a throw-in far sideline for the Warriors. Tossed over the heads of all the Steamboat Sailors defenders, but it's brought down by Sandvik. And nobody has possession here quite yet. That's Young for the Warriors. Middle of field, great pass out wide. Steamboat Sailors trying to make their way back on defense. This is dangerous from the Warriors. Shot and goal. Man, bummer. Steamboat Sailors just did not get back. There were two unmarked players and just a pass to the middle of the 6-yard box and an easy tap-in goal for the Warriors. And the Steamboat Sailors looking a little physically drained here as just a poor turnover in the middle of the field led to the Warriors getting some possession, and basically one Warrior just dribbled down the sideline, crossed it into the middle of the box, and Roth was kind of lost in no man's land, couldn't really do anything with it, and an easy tap-in goal. 1-0 to score. Steamboat Sailors down to the Centaurus Warriors. Second half of this opening contest for the Sailors. It is a non-league game, but still you'd love to see the Sailors come away with a win here. Sailors with possession, middle of the field, and now you're kind of hoping that the Sailors can get back to their ways of what they were doing in the first half. Really liked what they were doing. Lots of possession, lots of shots, very threatening. They definitely looked like the better team, but now, so far in this first 8 minutes of this contest, Warriors definitely looking like a stronger team and a different team than how they looked in the first half. That's Reese John earning a corner kick for the Sailors, and have a quick corner kick here. That's Reisman. Reisman getting it with the back heel to Mendoza, loses possession, and now here's Centaurus on the counterattack yet again. Held up well by the Sailors and worked to the other side of the field. Here comes the Warriors. Good tiki-taka soccer there, and the Sailors are actually able to win it back though. That's Dean, far sideline. Cannot quite pick out a white jersey. Now Warriors on attack. Pass to the top of the box. It's controlled by the Sailors. Coming back the other way. That's Daly getting the ball at midfield, trying to pick out Mendoza, and a very back and forth possession here as Young for the Warriors has a great through ball and a good tackle there by Sandvik, but it's not cleared out yet. Finally is, and brought down yet again by the Warriors. And as I previously mentioned, we have a foul in the middle of the field. The possession is very back and forth, and it wasn't really like that in the first half. What are you thinking?
It's always tough to go down a goal. It speeds you up. You're looking to get goals, but Steamboat really needs to slow down right now. They need their forwards and their midfield to check back to the ball and be fine and comfortable with drop passes. That's what slows the game down, builds possession, and right now they're just looking to go forward with some through balls, and it's really not working for them.
I 100% agree. I think in the first half, Steamboat was doing a good job of not feeling rushed, and then they come out in the second half, and it really was rushed. It was they I don't know why, but they felt like they had to score, and that kind of caught them off guard, and now they're down 1-0. We do have a lot of this half left. We have 30 minutes left, but I do think the Sailors need to slow it down and try to get back to the basics of possession and not always thinking they have to go to goal. The Warriors here on possession, good opportunity here. Sandvik getting crossed up, staying in front, shot, and a good save there by Roth. Steamboat Sailors getting a little jump scare there. Looked very promising for the Warriors, but Sandvik did well to hold up his attacker and not give him any good angles at goal. The Warriors win the ball off the distribution, though. Top of the box, we're going to have a free kick in a dangerous spot. And we'll see what happens here as Roth is setting up the wall. Centaurus just 2 yards off of the 18-yard box, right by the corner of the 18-yard box. And man, they could really rip this one in if they had a left-footed player, and it looks like they might have a left-footed player lining up. If not, it's a good opportunity for a cross. They really don't like to commit numbers to their set pieces, as I've seen for their corner kicks and everything. We have a shot. It's blocked by the wall, and man, they must have called Alpine Lumber for that, because that was a well-built wall. Speaking of Alpine Lumber, call Cody and the gang for all your lumber needs. We have Roth setting up to take a goal kick here. Not before we get a quick substitution. That would be Cardillo making his way in and Mendoza making his way off. 66 in for 33. And Roth will try to pick out John, cannot quite do so. It's taken over by Centaurus, but miscontrolled and throw-in near sideline for Liam Catterson and company. Catterson tossing it over everybody, brought down by blue jerseys, and getting it up to their 9 position. Passing around here. Centaurus making their way over to the far side of the field, earn a throw-in, and toss to the top of the box. Good dummy there, but it's read well by Catterson. Catterson not fooled, putting pressure on the Warriors now. Warriors have had the majority of possession here in this second half. Steamboat Sailors really look like they need to slow things down as the Warriors have an opportunity here, and a great save by Roth. Not letting that one get by him, and not giving up the rebound either, which is almost just as big as the initial save. Good work by Roth. He'll distribute that one out to Cardillo. Cardillo trying to find John. John turning on the Jets. Bad distribution by the Warriors goalkeeper, taken away by Daly. Now Reisman with an opportunity. Ball bouncing around, cleared out of the danger zone, but right to Cardillo. Cardillo now taking a shot, threatening. Oh, but just scooped up in the arms of the goalkeeper for Centaurus. But love to see that for the Steamboat Sailors, as we had not seen a whole lot of offense in a hot minute for the Sailors. And boot to the middle of the field, brought down by the Warriors. A good through ball. This could be dangerous. That's Sandvik out to defend. Does well. Cleared out by Scopa. And now Charlie Welch to bring it out of the defensive third for the Sailors. Welch now. Fancy footwork. Doing well. Wins a throw-in. No, they're going to say it went off a white jersey last. Throw-in near or far sideline for the Warriors. Tosses in, goes over all the Sailors defenders' heads, and now it's an opportunity for the Warriors. Shot, and it's wide. Gonna have a goal kick and a few substitutions for Steamboat. Making their way on is, gotta go to my official roster here, unless these are JV players. This is Sturgis making his way on for the first few minutes of the season, and I believe that was Brady Adams as well, coming on far sideline in the right back position. Cross to the middle of the box for the Warriors, cleared out by Catterson, and Steamboat Sailors caught again on their heels. We're going to have a corner kick here for the Warriors, and we await. Sailors have just about everybody back in the box except for 2 players. Going to have a short corner here for the Warriors. Cross to the middle of box. Nobody there, though. Ball still in play. Looks like it will squeak out of bounds. Throw in for Brady Adams, trying to find John. John trying to get it past a Warrior. Cannot quite do so. We're going to redo that. I think that the referee did not like the positioning of where John threw that in. And we are almost halfway through this contest. 24 left on the clock. Steamboat Sailors down 1-0. Hoping to get one here. Looking promising. But as you mentioned, Peyton, they need to slow it down. Have you seen that kind of happen, or do you think that they're still kind of playing direct?
Right now, they're still playing pretty direct. What I'd like to see them do is in set pieces, corner kicks, and settled ball situations, slow down and take their time. They're really just looking to rush and get the ball in play, and that's one easy adjustment that allows you to slow down and take your time.
And we have a shot here. This easy save, though, for the goalkeeper of Centaurus, but I 100% agree that it still seems a little bit too rushed. I think that Coach Bowman and Coach Reisman could definitely just urge the team, hey, we still have a quarter left in this game. Let's play our game. That's the only way we can really get through this. A great tackle there by Scopa, and he'll win the ball over for the Sailors. Sailors trying to get on the counterattack. Went back by a blue jersey. Charlie Welch does well, but it looks like it bounced and touched his hand. And we're going to have a free kick middle of the field for the Warriors. And Sailors making their way back, getting everybody behind the ball. As he throws that ball up to the midfield line, Steamboat Sailors can't quite get there, but it's cleared out by the goalkeeper for Centaurus, bouncing around. Nobody has possession yet. Sailors come away with the ball. That's Welch in the middle of the field, trying to find the other Charlie on the team. Can't quite do so. It's taken over by Centaurus, and Charlie Welch committing a little too hard to that tackle. Now he's sprinting back. Love to see the hustle. It's going to be throwing near sideline for Catterson. Catterson kind of slowing it down. Love to see it, even though it's just a throw-in. Every bit kind of helps. Steamboat Sailors trying to win the ball over in the middle of the field. Do so. Get it out to Brady Adams. And now taken away by the Warriors. Coming back the other way. Good pressure by Brady Adams, so he's able to clear that one out of bounds. And we're going to have a throw-in for the Warriors. It's a big toss brought down with the chest by a blue jersey. I believe that was the goal scorer on the day for the Warriors. Getting it, switching the field, cross to the middle of the box. Nobody there for the Warriors. It's going to be a goal kick. And Steamboat Sailors really need to figure something out as they keep getting caught off guard with the ball switching to the other side of the field. Their defense really needs to pick up on that because there's been some wide open opportunities there for the Warriors, and that's how they did score their goal so far here. 1-0 to score. Good through ball there for the Warriors, but too much sauce on that. Blue jersey can't run it down. We're going to get a quick substitution.
Yeah, Murphy, there's probably two adjustments I'd like to see on the Steamboat defense right now. First of all, the outside backs need to be less reactive and more proactive with the balls switching the field and the deep through balls. And the center mids as well need to put pressure on their center mids because those are the distributors out to the outside. Speed them up a little bit and cause some 50-50 ball situations.
I really agree. I think that more pressure on the defensive end and less urgency, or not even urgency as much as it is just taking your time and thinking through everything when you're on offense. We have possession far side of the field. Looks like it's going to be a throw-in, though. Going to be for the Warriors, but Steamboat Sailors really trying to find their game here in the last quarter of play in this second half. That's Scopa to bring down the ball, gets it to Welch. Welch now can't quite pick out who he wanted, but it makes its way out to John. Ball up in the air, still bouncing around. Nobody quite has possession. Welch brings it down and works it back to Sandvik. Like to see that from Welch, as he did not think he could go forward with it, so he decided to keep possession instead of force anything. And Steamboat Sailors losing possession here. Far sideline, win it right back. Still kind of back and forth as far as possession goes. We haven't quite seen that spurt that we saw in the middle of the first half of this contest. Ball's going to work its way back to Roth, who's going to pick it up with his hands and kind of slow the play down. I think he's saying a few things to his team, saying, come on guys, let's play a little smarter here. He'll boot this one up to the moon and back down, headed away by the Warriors, brought down by Welch. And now Sailors working it back, definitely playing more possession here. Maybe they heard us talking up here in the press box, because they're doing a lot better here the past few minutes. Out wide to Catterson, now to the middle of the field to Cardillo. Cardillo not forcing anything there, and this is what we like to see. This is what we were seeing here in that first half, and I think this is how Steamboat can win this game, is if they keep playing their game. As Sandvik gets tripped up on the ball, just kind of got caught under his own feet, and a little bit of scary play here. As we were just saying, the Sailors need to relax. They kind of were relaxing a little too much and almost got caught off guard. They were their own worst enemy in that situation, but they got their feet back under them, working the ball up the field. Lost possession, but it's booted right to Roth, who's going to go out and control that, or actually he'll see it out for a throw-in for the Sailors, far sideline. And Steamboat Sailors definitely trying to, I think their ears were ringing, or maybe Coach Bowman, Coach Reisman said the right stuff to get to the team and make them realize that maybe we need to slow down a little bit. Cross to the middle of box, well, cross out of bounds to the middle of the box. And it's going to be a goal kick here for Roth. As we await the goal kick, I'd like to thank Steamboat Ace Hardware, the helpful place for hardware, plumbing tools, grills, gardens, and more, offering you knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products there in West Steamboat in Curve Plaza. Also like to thank the Paoli Group with Colorado Group Realty. Let Chris Paoli and his team help you with all your real estate needs. The CENTAURUS goalkeeper will boot it to the middle of the field, taken down by Sandvik, who's really done well getting the start here in the second half. I really think that he hasn't missed a beat at all. He did not start the game, but he's been playing very, very well. Had some big key moments. Definitely one big block earlier on in the game for the Sailors. We have a throw-in far sideline for the Warriors. It's going to go up and right back where it came from, and controlled by Steamboat. That's John in the middle of the field to Reisman. Reisman controlling the ball here, playing it easy to Catterson. Catterson now to Scopa. Steamboat just working the ball around, playing smart, and John can't quite connect back to Scopa. It's going to be taken over. Oh, but good pressure there from the Steamboat Sailors, almost catching the CENTAURUS Warrior off guard. That was Sturgis, who almost got there and could have been one-on-one on goal. Come the Sailors back with possession. Far sideline. That's a hard hit. We're going to have a throw-in, though, for the Sailors. Far sideline at the 10-yard line. We're going to get a quick substitution, though. Looks like that will be Mendoza coming back in. Or, man, this ref is kind of catching me off guard. It's going to be a free kick. Everybody thought it was a throw-in, and then he had Reisman come over for a free kick, called back maybe a late whistle or something. Good opportunity for a free kick. A great delivery, and what a goal for the Sailors! Charlie Reisman putting the delivery on a dime there, and number 24, Sturgis, just connecting. One. Steamboat Sailors tying it up here, and we have a interesting kickoff there for Centaurus as they boot it out of bounds. And man, what a goal. What are your thoughts on that one, Peyton?
Yeah, that's a beautiful set piece. Way to direct it into the net with his head from the top of the box. Now they're positioned well. It looks like Centaurus is playing a little bit of kick it as far as you can from the center backs and chase it down. And so Steamboat's positioned nicely now that they were able to tie it up.
And this goes back to kind of what you were saying about how they need to slow down on throw-ins and free kicks, and that's what we saw there. Charlie Reisman took his time to set up the ball, get the cross in that he wanted, and man, did that pay off. As we were talking, there was a foul committed in the middle of field. It's going to be a Warriors free kick. We'll see where the ref has him place it. That's at the 25-yard line, just on the edge of a shooting range for Centaurus, depending on who they have kicking it. It's in the directly middle of the field. I'm going to say this is going to be a shot on goal, but don't quote me on that. That is going to be a shot, but it goes high and wide. That wall must have been just too intimidating for number 16 of Centaurus to kick it any lower, as that one went through the uprights. It's going to be a goal kick here for Roth and company. Steamboat Sailors kind of getting their feet under them, finding their game back here in this first half. We have 13:02 left on the clock, 1-1 the score. Steamboat Sailors all tied up here in their first game of the 2021 season. A goal coming from Roth, a great delivery, from Sturgis, excuse me. Great delivery from Reisman. As we talk, here's Sturgis with another opportunity, could not quite get there in time. Goalkeeper for Centaurus will scoop that one up and boot it to the moon and back. Enters the atmosphere again, and Mendoza will take it out of the air, bouncing around still, and now Centaurus with the ball. Taking their time to play it. Deflected around, worked to the other side of the field now. Centaurus crossing the top of the box, dealt with well by Sandvik, who's been playing very well in the second half, as I previously mentioned. And coming back the other way. Cross was unsuccessful for the Warriors, and it's going to be yet another goal kick for Roth. And he has had to use his feet quite a bit today, whether it's goal kicks or just having the ball played back to him. But you gotta love to see it. He's been playing very well. I wonder what Coach Reisman and Coach Bowman are thinking as far as their goalie situation, because we do have Charlie Welch, who is very, very a very good goalkeeper as well. So it'll be interesting seeing that going forward. And as I have said earlier on in this broadcast, this is just a non-league game, so it doesn't count towards anything in the league, but it still has playoff implications. I imagine their first 3 games are all non-league games. I think that Steamboat might experiment a little bit, but they're still playing to win, and they still would like to get every win they can, especially against these front-range teams. It really helps out your RPI going into playoffs. I know it's only the first game of the season, but later on when you have 1 game left and you're on the edge of making playoffs, it can all come down to how some of these front-range teams do that you played. We have a throw in far side of the field. Brady Adams will control it and get it to John. John now playing it back to Adams. No sense of forcing anything there, and Steamboat Sailors will just possess calmly with the ball in their back 4. This is Scopa now running into a little bit of trouble. He'll just clear it out of bounds, as he did not want to give it to the other team, and he couldn't find a white jersey. It's going to be a throw in at midfield for the Warriors. Not before we get a quick substitution. As we wait for the substitutions to come on, I'd like to thank Yampa Valley Bank, the Yampa Valley's only locally owned bank, with locations in Steamboat and Craig. Also, Alpine Lumber, the contractor's choice, the homeowner's friend. Go see Cody and the gang at Alpine Lumber for all your building needs. Ball is in play, and Centaurus is working the ball around their back 4, booted up to the middle of the field. Weird bounce. Roth out to deal with it, gets taken down, does well to grab his rebound though. Kind of a weird situation there. This turf really can exaggerate the spin on the ball if there's a lot of spin, and Roth experienced that right there, but he was able to grab it. A good ball here for Sturgis. Sturgis now making his way into the 18-yard box. It's cleared out of bounds. Good little bit of offense there for the Sailors, and they earn a corner kick. Well, let's see what they do here. Typically they do have a few plays set up. Looks like they're getting set up here. We have Axel Kovacs, the senior, at about the PK spot. Still waiting the corner. They do a short one. Sturgis now crossing the box, cannot quite do so. Gets it out to Reisman. Reisman tried shooting it, got blocked. Now Sandvik controls it after the ball got cleared out. Taken away by the Warriors, trying to turn the corner on Brady Adams. Adams doing well there, makes his way past his defender, and he's making his way up the field. Adams trying to find a streaking Kovacs. Can Kovacs turn on the Jets there? Not quite do so. Cleared right into Sturgis's back. Going to be a throw-in far sideline. And Sailors now trying to win it back in their midfield. Good work there. Cleared away by Charlie Welch, who moved into more of the right back position. I think he got subbed in for Catterson, who played the majority of this game so far, as we make it into the last 7 minutes and 35 seconds of this game. 1-1 the score. Steamboat Sailors all tied up here at Centaurus High School with the Warriors. We have a throw-in near sideline. Warriors are possessing it. That's Scopa doing well to body off his offensive player, wins the throw-in, tosses it up to Cardillo. Cardillo with some nice footwork there, but is dispossessed. Cardillo trying to win it back, not quite do so. And now Scopa with the ball. He'll just clear that one out of the danger zone. And going to be a throw-in, 10-yard line for Centaurus. Quick one, top of the box. This is an opportunity for Young. Cleared away by Sandvik, but still bounced around the 18-yard box. Brady trying to clear it out, cannot quite do so. Goes past 2 blue jerseys and dribbles out for a throw-in. And man, it's getting exciting here in the last 6 minutes. anything that you've seen in the past few minutes since the last time you talked, Peyton?
Yeah, all I'm seeing right now is that Steamboat needs to make sure in these last few minutes to keep a very, very sharp touch. Looks like we may have an injury out here.
Looks like cramps.
Yes, yeah, he was grabbing his shin guard a few minutes ago with the heat today. Got to make sure to stay hydrated and avoid any cramping or late injuries.
That looks to be Charlie Welch, but yes, the heat is definitely a factor. I know this is a fall season, but it still can get very hot on these Saturday games. Typically, when you're playing against league opponents, those are during the weekdays and a little bit cooler at night. I know Gardner Field can get pretty cold, lots of rainy games there, but as far as the first game of the season, always seems to be a hot one. Lots of players can cramp up. Looks like Liam Catterson will make his way back on for Charlie Welch to close out this game. Tosses into Kovac, cannot quite control. Centaurus with the ball at top of the box. We have a shot. Good block there by Sandvik. And cleared away. That's John trying to run it down. Cannot quite get the ball. This is Centaurus still with possession. Work to the far side of the 18-yard box. Crossing the box. Blocked away, though, by Sandvik, who's been all over this back line. Blocking shots, blocking crosses. Doing really well, helping out his goalkeeper. And tosses into the middle of the box. Sandvik just standing his man up well. Looks like they're going to call a corner kick. And it's going to be a dangerous corner kick here for Centaurus as we have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes and some change left in this second half, all tied up at 1 apiece. Cross to the middle of the box, bounces past 3 Centaurus players, and this is Kovac with the ball now. Takes too big of a touch, and now it's Centaurus with the ball. Centaurus passing around their back 4, trying to get some offensive possession here, and a little collision there with Kovac, and another player from Centaurus goes out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in, and that's Cardillo with the ball. Cardillo trying to pick out Sturgis, the goal scorer for Steamboat. Hands up in the air saying handball. Ref did not see it though, and that's Sandvik with it. Dealing well with pressure, getting it out to John. John trying to find Sturgis again, cannot quite do so. To the middle of the field for Centaurus now. Worked out wide, and Scopa clearing it off his offensive player's face and cleared away again by who else but Sandvik. And now Brady Adams getting beat, turn the corner, ball bouncing in the middle of the field. Nobody was there for Centaurus though. And Liam Catterson will pick up the ball for a throw-in as the clock is still counting down. Will we have a winner in regulation or in overtime? We will see, as if nobody scores in the next 3 minutes and 58 seconds, we will go into overtime where it's golden goal. Centaurus with possession, trying to cross to the middle of the box, blocked away, and that's a good ball by Charlie Reisman, but gets cleared. Sturgis was really turning on the Jets, trying to get one last push here, and it's going to be seen out of bounds by Scopa. It's not out of bounds yet, and a goal for Centaurus. Miscommunication. Steamboat Sailors said the ball went over the end line, and the referee said play on. Steamboat Sailors continued to yell at the referee, and Centaurus continued to play and put in the goal. Man, that's unfortunate. That's why they say play until a whistle. Steamboat Sailors go down 2-1 with the 3 minutes and 18 seconds left on the clock, and man, that's a tough one to swallow. It did look like it could have squeaked out of bounds, but referee said the whole ball did not go over the line and said play on.
Yeah, at the end of the day there, as a defenseman, you just have to punt the ball out of bounds, get it out of play, make sure that there's no question marks or miscommunications.
As I always say, when in doubt, clear it out. And Joe Scopa did well to try to shield that out for a goal kick, but thought it went out of bounds. It didn't quite do so. Sailors booted up the field. It's going to be grabbed by the goalkeeper for Centaurus, and hopefully that does not put the Sailors out of the game. Still have 3 minutes, plenty of time to do something. Just need one opportunity. And man, it's been a great game today so far, though. Just love to see in this last 3 minutes a game tying goal. I may have jinxed us a little too early. I was talking about overtime, and here comes Centaurus with a chance and a good save there by Roth. Next time I'll hold my tongue a little bit more. Ball bouncing around, challenged by Cameron Daly, and the referee will say that ball went out of bounds. It's going to be a Steamboat throw-in, saying it touched off of Centaurus. It's going to be a throw-in for Cardillo. Cardillo will play it easy to Catterson. Catterson booting it up the field, gets it over to Brady Adams, and it's cleared away. Here's an opportunity for Centaurus as Catterson fell to the ground, got tripped up. Centaurus crossing the middle of the box, and it is 3-1 now. And it can just change like that. Man, that's what happens though. You're committing players to the attack, and you're susceptible to the counterattack, as we saw there. Liam Catterson trying to get back on defense and just got tripped up by the other player. Not that there was a foul or anything, but that really just opened up a lot of the field. The Centaurus attacker was able to just put it into the middle of the box. Looks like we're going to have a yellow card here for Mendoza and a few other substitutions for Steamboat. And with a minute 54 left on the clock, 3-1 the score. That's a tough way to end this game. Steamboat Sailors definitely won the first half, controlling. They won possession. They won shots on goal, opportunities, and now coming to the second half, they seemed a little bit too rushed right off the bat and didn't really recover from that. And now, as the score does not reflect on the game, but at the end of the day, it is the score that people look at. Joseph Scopa with the ball here. He's going to take his real estate here, trying to get the ball up the field, gives it away though, and here comes the Warriors. It's going to be cleared out of bounds by the Sailors. Throw-in for Catterson. Maybe. Nope. Blue jersey, and Steamboat not getting back on defense yet again. We have an opportunity here. A good save by Roth though, as he has had such a great game. He'll boot this one up the field, trying to get his team up. We have 1 minute and 11 seconds left. Steamboat Sailors down 3-1 in their opening match, but it's been a great game today so far. I'd love to see the Sailors come away with a win. I don't think that's going to happen with 57 and counting down. Clock not on the Sailors side, but you got to take away the positives from this one and really focus on how you get a full 80 minutes of that possession game. Don't you agree, Peyton?
Absolutely. It's an early season game. A couple balls didn't go their way, a couple close calls at the end of the game. There's nothing wrong with this strong performance other than the score, but there's a lot of positives that can be taken from this. And the important thing here is sometimes there's going to be close calls, and Steamboat needs to stay a little more disciplined, to stay with the play, and make sure to finish it until the whistle's blown.
I totally agree. I think going forward, that's definitely what's going to help, as we have a shot on goal. 5 seconds left on the clock, but that's what's going to help this Steamboat team, is getting organized, being able to play their own game, not play the ref's game or play the other team's game. Final whistle has sounded. Sailors will lose their opening match, but there's only positives to take away from here. It is not a league game, but it is still a big playoff implication game. We will be back in action next Friday back here in the front range as the Steamboat Sailors have a back-to-back or a double-header next weekend. Thanks for tuning in. This is Murphy Bowman and Peyton Trask signing off from Centaurus, Colorado, where Steamboat Sailors just dropped their first game to Centaurus High School. It was a great display at times, but at the end of the day, it is the team in blue that comes out on top of this contest. Thanks for tuning in on your Steamboat Sailors Sports Connection.
Steamboat Sailor Soccer on